You're listening to The Bold Blueprint with Claire Bartlett. This is the go-to podcast for business owners who are ready to be bold, step into your power and claim the success that you deserve. So whether you're an established business or just starting out, this podcast is your weekly dose of unapologetic inspiration, empowerment and actionable advice to take your business to the next level. So whether it's the highs, the lows, or everything in between, I'm here to help you build a business that reflects who you truly are. It's time to break the mold and build a business that thrives on your terms. Today's episode is brought to you by Xero Accounting Software, a champion of small businesses and a proud sponsor of the Bold Blueprint podcast. Managing your business finances can feel overwhelming, but Xero simplifies it all and gives you the power to keep your books in order and your mind on growth. Xero have amazingly offered a 50% discount off your first 3 months with them. So if you'd like to take advantage of this amazing deal, just follow the link in the show notes. Hey everyone, and welcome to The Bold Blueprint. I'm Claire Bartlett and I am so excited to be here with you for season 3. I can't believe that we're here already. And if you've been listening for a while, you'll know that this podcast has been through quite the journey. So before we dive into today's episode, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the rebrand, because this marks a new chapter, not just for the podcast, but for me personally and for this community that we're building together. This rebrand is about stepping into the next level, being unapologetically bold and creating space for bigger conversations around business and confidence and growth. I wanted season 3 to reflect where I am now and where you are too, because I know many of you are really in the thick of it. You're growing your businesses, you're working hard on your personal brands and really striving for that next level. So if that's you, you are in the right place and I am so glad that you're here. All right, let's get into today's topic, which is something that has been sitting heavy on my heart lately. Prioritizing yourself as a business owner and taking care of your mental health. Now, I know that this time of year is wild. January rolls around and we all come out of the gate sprinting. It's, new goals, big visions, fresh ideas. And, don't get me wrong, I love that energy. But can we just be honest for a second? Because that energy can also take us straight into burnout. And I'm speaking from experience here because this Christmas break, it wasn't the restful, cozy reset that I had hoped for. If anything, actually, it's left me feeling really drained. And I realised that the pressure I was putting on myself to be in full-on hustle mode by January the 1st was real. But here's the thing, right? And I want you to really hear this. It is okay to not be full steam ahead right now. Let me say it again once more for the people at the back. It is okay to not be full steam ahead right now. I'm giving myself the permission to ease myself into this year, and I want to extend that same permission to you. We're so often our own toughest critics, right? We hold ourselves to these sky-high standards and forget to show ourselves that same compassion that we would offer to a friend. If your best friend came to you and they were feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, they'd been working so hard since the start of the year, you wouldn't just tell them to just push harder. You would tell them to rest and to take a breath. But we struggle so much to tell ourselves that same response. So I'm telling you today, as your friend, that it is okay to not be going full steam ahead and to ease yourself into 2025. So in today's episode, I want to share a few things that I'm doing to prioritize my well-being as I ease into the year, and I hope that they will resonate with you too. First, I'm focusing on small wins. Now, I know I've said it before and I will say it again. I am a list person, and I'll admit, sometimes I'll add things onto the list that I've already done just to cross them off for that dopamine hit. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Small, achievable wins help me build momentum without the pressure of those giant leaps. But beyond that, I'm also leaning into gratitude and recognizing the glimmers that are in my day. Those tiny moments that remind me that I am moving forward, even if the progress feels slow. It could be something like, a client's feedback or just the satisfaction of completing a task or simply just having a quiet, productive hour in my business. I even just love the word glimmers. Like, it's such a beautiful, joyous word. And the thing is, we all have so many glimmers in our world every day, but we're just so conditioned to ignore the positives and focus on any negatives. Well, not this year, people. This is the year of gratitude, of beautiful glimmers and of regular small wins. So, who is with me? Next, I'm giving myself permission to pause and reassess. Now, just because I had big plans at the start of the year, it doesn't mean that I have to stick to them if they're not serving me. Danny Wallace, one of my favorite entrepreneurs, always says, have a plan to deviate from. Oh, I love this so much because it acknowledges something really crucial, that timeframes can be changed. We often set ourselves, really ambitious goals with strict deadlines. And yes, structure is important in business, but it shouldn't come at the cost of our health. I've learned that flexibility is one of the most valuable tools that we can embrace as business owners. If I need to shift a project timeline or extend a launch date, I can do it without guilt because plans are not written in stone. They're just guidelines designed to evolve with you. Now, I had all the best intentions that over the Christmas break, I would be, really reflecting, building out these new products and services that I had in my mind and scheduling a ton of content because this is always the one that gets missed in my usual daily grind. Content creation just feels like a real chore to me. I don't know, we all have a pain point, don't we, in our business, and social media is one for me. So I had this great ambition that over the Christmas period where I was really just, taking a step back and chilling out, that I would have the time to schedule as much content so I could start, the ground running in the new year. However, due to lots of situations out of my control, none of it happened. I just really needed to completely switch off. So that's what I did. That's what I gave myself. And now I'm here in the beginning of January and I'm just starting that process now. I want you to know that it's okay to pause and check in with yourself. Ask, is this working for me right now? Am I excited about this or am I dreading it? Because if the answer is leaning towards dread, maybe it's time to adjust. Our personal well-being directly impacts our productivity and creativity. So protecting it should always take precedence over, some deadlines that we set ourselves 6 months ago. So this year, let's allow ourselves the grace to reassess, to pivot, and reset as often as needed. And third, I am setting boundaries. Now, as I mentioned, over Christmas, I did something that I never would have dreamed of a few years ago. I completely switched off from work for 2 whole weeks. I shut the laptop, I ignored all the emails, and I let the world just keep spinning without me constantly checking in. And guess what? Everything was fine, more than fine. I listened to my body and realized that boundaries are not a nicety, they are essential. I had a manic 2024 and I really needed that time to just, rebalance myself, get some new renewed energy and something to carry me through into the new year. And if I had tried to still hit my deadlines of the 1st of January, I would have started the year feeling just as burnt out as I did at the end of last year. And it wasn't going to work for me. It wasn't going to serve me and carry me through into the new year. And your clients and your customers and your team will understand if you set boundaries. In fact, they'll probably respect you more for it because when you show up with clear, healthy boundaries, you're modeling exactly what we are all in need more of. balance. So if you're not sure where to start, let me give you a couple of ideas for setting some boundaries this year in your business. You need to set communication limits. Decide specific times when you will and won't check your emails or messages. Do not feel obligated to be available 24/7. So I schedule time in my diary each morning and afternoon to check my emails, and I don't look in my inbox between those times because it is so easy to get dragged down a rabbit hole with an email when I should be doing something else. I schedule all these things. I have a lot of tasks that I need to complete. And it is so easy to lose hours of your day from constantly checking your emails. So do yourself a favor, close that inbox and make sure that you switch off all notifications, because is there anything more distracting than a constant ping of a new email, and then curiosity gets you and you want to see who it was from or what that person has to say. So it's really important to be strict with yourself here. And it does take time, because I was addicted to my inbox. Like, I thought that, oh my God, an email was going to come in that was absolutely mission critical. And if I didn't respond in 10 minutes, or a client would be annoyed if I didn't respond within 10 minutes of an email. It's not the case. People get it. People don't expect, instant replies anymore. The world is busy. So it's important to respect yourself enough to put these boundaries in. And another on this topic is to learn to say no. If a project or, a client or an opportunity just doesn't align with your goals or your capacity, you need to give yourself permission to pass. Seriously, when did it become the norm to always be accepting absolutely everything that comes your way, even if it's moving you further away from your objective? Now, obviously, I know it's important to be visible, to get seen and heard and gain that media coverage and attend events. These are all crucial parts of building a brand, and ones that I often talk about how, you can do this more in your business. However, not every event or every audience will suit what you are trying to build. Not every opportunity will pay what you deserve to be paid or benefit you in any way. And when those opportunities come knocking, you need to feel free enough and confident enough to say, no, thank you. You need to keep your time and energy clear for the opportunities that do serve you and your business. And I promise you'll thank yourself later for it. There is nothing worse than being offered an incredible opportunity that is, your absolutely dream audience, and you have to turn it down because you've already accepted another opportunity that doesn't really serve you in any way. So keep yourself, and your boundaries very clear. This is my goal. This is what I'm wanting to achieve. And these are the opportunities that suit it, and these are the ones that don't. If you have that clear strategy and that clear end goal, it becomes very easy to decipher what opportunities are going to serve you and what aren't, what align with you and what don't. And that helps with the whole practice of saying no, because you can see very clearly that it doesn't align with you. So start practicing that word and bring it more into your vocabulary. And finally, and this one is important, I'm making rest and joy part of the plan. Studies show that regular rest can increase productivity by up to 20%, and taking regular breaks can enhance creativity and problem solving. The World Health Organization even classifies burnout as an occupational phenomenon. So scheduling joy into your week isn't indulgent, it's essential. I block time in my diary for the things that, light me up. Simple things like just going for a walk or having a coffee with a friend after the school run, or reading a book that has nothing to do with work. Those moments, they recharge my energy. They keep me connected to the passion that started this business in the first place. So let's not lose sight of the joy that brought us here. We all go into business because we love the thing that you offer. But if you don't give yourself the opportunity to just step away and recharge, it can easily begin to just feel like you're employed by the business and you lose that spark. So prioritize yourself, prioritize time off, and make sure that you see it as a vital part of your business strategy, not a luxury that you don't have time for. So before we wrap up, let's just take a moment to reflect on everything that we've covered today. We have talked about the power of the small win, recognizing those beautiful glimmers of progress that light your path and allowing gratitude to fuel your momentum. We explored the importance of pausing, of reassessing, and knowing that flexibility in your plans isn't a sign of weakness. It's a strategic move that keeps your well-being intact. And of course, we dived into boundaries, those beautiful, necessary guardrails that protect not just your energy, but the love that you have for your work. Guys, these are not just business tactics, these are lifelines. They're reminders that you are the heartbeat of your business. And if you thrive, your businesses thrive. So as you move through this year, make a promise to yourself to embrace rest and joy and balance unapologetically. And trust me, this season of the Bold Blueprint is going to be absolutely packed with insights, inspiration, and game-changing conversations to help you do just that. I am thrilled to share that we've got some incredible guests lined up, including the one and only Danny Wallace, speaking coach extraordinaire, who I mentioned earlier. That she's going to be coming in to drop some serious wisdom on showing up boldly. We've got Holly Matthews, ex-Hollyoaks star and founder of the Happy Me Project. She's joining us to share her powerful journey of resilience and creating happiness in your everyday life. And you cannot miss Matthew Hughes, the YouTube king himself, who's ready to give us the lowdown on building a brand with video and stepping into the spotlight. Honestly, I am so excited for what's ahead, and I want you to be a part of every second of it. So if today's episode has resonated with you, it would mean the world to me if you could just follow, give it a like, and share the podcast. Your support helps this community grow, and it allows more people to access these important conversations. And hey, if you know someone who needs to hear today's message, send it their way. Let's keep lifting each other up. So thank you for being here this week. Thank you for listening, and thank you for prioritizing you. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you deserve joy. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode, which was brought to you by Xero Accounting Software, a champion of small businesses and a proud sponsor of the Bold Blueprint podcast. If you're running a small business and you are dreaming big, then Xero is here to help make those dreams a reality. Xero is all about supporting entrepreneurs just like you, who are not just running businesses, but are also changing the game. So whether you're just starting out or you're scaling up, join a global community of small businesses who trust Xero to manage their finances efficiently.